I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited about this video. It has been 40 years since ABBA released their last album, and now we finally get to have new music from ABBA. I mean, what a time! What a time to be alive. So today I'm going to listen to their album through. I'm going to see if I can break down and analyze or pick up any things while I go. Honestly, I just want to have a great time, and I hope fellow ABBA fans can geek out with me in the comments, and let's just get to it. So the first song is I Still Have Faith in You. Let's go.
I still have faith in you. I see it now.
Oh wow, I'm not emotional.
There was a union.
I just want to point out, I think it's really beautiful how like there was a union, and then that's when like both vocals go together, like Anna Frida and Agneta, and then you have the strings mirroring the vocals, and oh, just all the feels.
Lives of which are rare and grow so hard to find. Do I have it in me?
Can you hear that? It sounds like a woodwind instrument. I can't quite pinpoint yet, but it's doing like this fluttering really subtly underneath, and I think it kind of really represents that lyric, do I have it in me? And it's like kind of like a discovery of like, well, do I? It's like the music is mirroring that question, like, well, do you have it in you? I don't know, I didn't notice that. I think the first listen, and now when I've been listening to it, I'm like, oh, there's a nice little flutter there.
I still have you, and I was.
Oh,
I never really thought I'd feel this way, but I remember who we are. Is to reach this far.
and can I just mention that this is like the perfect song to open the album, to be like, I still have faith in you, and I'm assuming they mean like in themselves to do this, to go on this voyage of making this album after 40 years. I just think it's perfect. It's the perfect opening for this album.
Do I have it in me? I believe
You get the Glockenspiels added in for that high frequency, like adding hope with the snare. Like something important's gonna happen. Then the guitars coming in to amp it up. Hope not cry. And you have the brass, everything's like mirroring the vocals to enhance it. It's being doubled. That sounds like a piccolo. Leave, and it's mirroring the lyrics.
I know I hear a bittersweet song.
Da 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 da. And that guitar's like so emotive. And then the guys have backing vocals there very subtly. There's like this pulsing like note that's just kind of not going. It's just like keeping like the question of like, do we have it in us? It's like, I just noticed that now. It's really interesting. And the Benny and Bjorn are having very subtle, very subtle backing vocals. I could only hear it very slightly, like it was a phrase like they used to do back in the day, like I'm knowing me, knowing you, or Super Trooper. They'd always have like a sentence underneath everything else. I feel like they've very subtly done it in this as well. And after all that, it's just stripped down to piano strings.
Things we did, it all comes down to life. Do I have it in me?
And it's like an unanswered question. They're asking, do we have it in us? And it's like the album's like going to be the answer to that question. And that like mirroring in the woodwind of the vocal, I love it! The next one is When You Dance With Me. I've heard like 30 seconds of this, but I'm interested to hear the rest, and I'm just blown away by the sound because it sounds so fresh and new, but still like ABBA. It's just so joyful. Oh, what is wrong with me? Wow.
I can remember when you left you penny, and you told me I'd return it still. I meant to hold you to your promise, and the years went.
Because I listened to like a bit of this with my mum before, and we were trying to describe, is this more like an Irish kind of sound? Like it sounds very folk. You have these kind of synths that almost sound like bagpipe-ish. Like I don't think it's like a bagpipe, but it's like an eclectic sound of instrument choices, and then I'm just loving it. I just love it. And that low synth bass is just coming in. I'm just crying. It all strips down to folk instruments and they're singing together. Turning the tide. Nice harmony. And that bass synth just kicks in, it adds that lower end. This is just the impact of fantastic music. And the drums, for most of it, it's just like going like that, but then when it runs into the chorus, you have the snare that's and it catches you by surprise and it gives that energy leading into the chorus, and I just love it so much. The next one is Little Things. I haven't heard any of this, so let's go.
Little things like my gentle touch. It's amazing, darling, that so little can achieve. Little things,
Nice harmony.
A new day is dawning. It's a lovely Christmas morning. We stay in bed for a while.
Aww.
Waking up from that dream.
It's ascending with the bass and the strings. Dun, 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 dun.
Keep those what joy Santa brings.
Oh, it's a Christmas song! I knew this at Christmas book, but I was like, oh, this is going on the Christmas song list. And the Glockenspiels, they're using lots of Glockenspiels. What you are. It sounds like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's like a music toy box sound they've got there. Oh, I love that. Using a lot of orchestral instruments in there, something. The fluttering of the flute, love it.
A new day is dawning on this lovely Christmas morning. Children playing with their new toys. The moments of happiness.
Happiness.
Does it ever get better than this? Oh, what joy Santa brings.
they've come out with a Christmas song. And then twinkling. The music box. The Glockenspiel is used like throughout the whole thing. Sings. All the little children's choir just like in I Have a Dream. I totally did not, I didn't think they would come out with a Christmas song, but I'm really happy they did. That was like a perfectly restrained song. I've mentioned in another video that you got to do what's right for the song, and sometimes like there's an urge to want to show off, and just being able to being able to tell yourself as a songwriter, no, I've got to do what's right for the song. And that was just like a beautiful, joyful, like they had the piano and the Glockenspiels, and then they had so many woodwinds. I'm pretty sure there was a flute, a clarinet going with the flutter, that was the flute, and then the clarinet adds this warm tonal quality, and then oh, it was just beautiful. And then you have these harmonies in the first lyrics that like just instantly catch your attention, and then you have the choir of the children, like just it makes it more sound like innocent and Christmassy. The next one is Don't Shut Me Down. I did a whole video on Don't Shut Me Down, so I'll try not to be too repetitive in what I say, but let's get to it. Warning, I'm just gonna probably sing and dance.
I heard the sound of children's laughter. Quiet, so I guess they left the park. This one getting harder by the hour. The sun is going down, it's getting dark. Rain begins to
All the strings coming in to enhance it. Now we get these vocals. Bit of it.
It's time to go.
And then the best part. This sax is just like walking down the notes of the chords. It's going down there now. And that bass is freaking awesome. I just really want to quickly break down that funky bass because it's so nice. So it starts on the B flat, which is the chord, and it resolves down to the G, so it enters into the next. And it just is this really nice walking, and it just sounds really effective, and it's so funky. And having a walking bass just keeps a whole song moving, and it's just amazing. They've just flattened that A, which gave it that sound. Glockenspiels. And the key change is coming up. And then the run is just half steps. So there's a really subtle key change that is so well done. So what they've done, I am here now. So they've flattened, made the B flat a B neutral, and they've just like started the change of the key, and now they're into a key of C when they started in the B flat key. So now it's just like such a subtle way, and then that run is literally just half steps up until they reach the note they need. Yeah, and that run you hear is literally going up every note from the E up till the G, which is the fifth of the chord C. So and so it leads up to the fifth, so when they go into that chord it suits perfectly, and it's the subtlest of key changes. I'm like, banging and beyond, well done. Let's continue dancing and geeking out.
Don't shut me down. A dream that's been reloaded. I'm fired up, I want to shut me down. I've got the one you need. I'm now and then combined. Asking you to have an open mind.
I won't be the same. Same vocals from the start. And the same, it's just running down the notes of the chord. Staccato strings to keep the energy going.
Will you be standing in the hall? Or let me enter? The apartment hasn't changed at all. I've got to say after
And then you've got percussive, sounds like marimba's, or xylophones, and then Glockenspiels.
my time to sing frustrations, but I got in my transformation.
The same thing, half steps synth there. Yeah, and then you have this beautiful piano that just like keeps things like mystical, and you're like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And then it's gonna lead into the next amazing song, which is Just a Notion. Just a notion, that's all. Just a funny feeling. There's you out there waiting. You're not sure I'm alone, and you wonder if I'm occupied. So when Just a Notion was released, I was listening to it and I was like, but these vocals sound like when they were younger. So apparently that, I knew that they had recorded this earlier, but apparently it is saying that it was originally written and produced in 1979 and it was released over 43 years later. So these, what I'm gathering this is that these vocals are their vocals from 40 years ago, because they do sound younger in their vocals. I don't know if they've tweaked the arrangement from 40 years ago. I wonder what do you reckon they did? But yeah, I could instantly tell. I was like, their vocals are sounding younger than compared to the other songs. Descending bass, just going down, down, down. Now I'm walking up. Dun, dun. High keys. vocals. The walking bass. Boom, boom. Then you hear the backing vocals of the guys as well. And you can hear the high keys just going up, 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 up. Really adding that high energy. Just a notion that you'll be walking through the night, knowing everything's alright. Those backing vocals of ours really add energy. It just makes you want to dance. And we love a run up the key. Now the piano is playing the vocals first, the lead melody. Sticks in our brain. That's all. I like that. Oh, lovely. As it was recorded a while ago, you can tell by the vocals it's a little bit older sounding, but it's such a clever thing in the songwriting too. Once you have the vocals strip away and, you know, finish, you have the main melody repeated in an instrument, because it's a different tone and quality, so it's not like we're gonna get sick of it, but it reinforces that melody in our brain and you're like, yeah, Just a Notion, it's very catchy, it's gonna be in my head. The next one is I Can Be That Woman. I just have no idea what it's gonna be about. Let's find out. Oh, very dramatic piano.
You're asleep on the couch with Tammy. The reproach in her eyes comes down, and her tail is swishing like a feather right under your nose. I can see you cry. The dog, bless her heart, licks my finger. She jerks every time you swear. Sick, and my hands are shaking. It's how all our fights have begun. Say you had it, and you say screw you, and I know it's true.
Wow. So it's like she's singing, it sounds like Agneta is describing an argument, and you know, whenever she's sad, she's with the dog, and whenever the person swears, like the dog is frightened and scared, and like it's a very lyrically very quite different to ABBA, to what I have heard them sing in the past. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just like, oh, it's like catching my attention. I was like, oh, okay. I'm still interested to see where I Can Be That Woman comes into play. Like, I'm interested to see how the song goes.
You're not the man you should have been. I let you down somehow. I could be. I'm not the woman. I could be that woman. But I can be that woman now. But it's clear that I've hit my rock bottom. And the dog is the you can't believe it.
Lyrically, oh my goodness, this is kind of like really sad. Like the idea of being like, wow, I wasn't the woman I wanted to be, but maybe I can be now, you know? I think we all have moments in our past where like, I wasn't the person I wanted to be, you know,
You should have been somehow not the one. That woman, but I can be that woman now.
Okay, this is my little ABBA fan geeking out here. Do you think that this was somehow cathartic for them to write and sing? Like, obviously we know that there were two couples and then they both separated, and now they've gotten back together to write music together, which in my mind is just incredible that they seem to have, like, you know, they're able to do that. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but do you think there's a little bit of truth in that lyric of like some of their experiences mixed into those lyrics? Maybe, I don't know. Only they know. Okay, Keep an Eye on Dan. I listened to like the first minute of this and I was like, this is awesome. I love it. It's like this bopping synth. Oh, I can't, it's just so good. It sounds freaking dramatic, guys. Having that pulsing piano key with that percussive dun dun.
This shouldn't be a traumatic event, but it is.
What's happening?
And I feel so bad. My little boy looks so happy, he throws so many kisses, and he loves his dad. And I love
At the kick drum. It sounds so dark, I love it. The dramatic. How dramatic is that drum?
Keep an eye on that. Promise me you can. He gets out of hand, so keep an eye on that. And don't forget, I'll be back on Sunday to get him, so keep an eye.
Like, it's so good! I love that synth sound. It sounds so modern but still so ABBA. And they strip all the high frequencies down back to the low.
Then I'm outside, I pull over and turn off the car.
Dramatic strokes.
I can't believe that I'm actually ready to get from seeing how I feel. I said
The guitar's mirroring vocal. There, crank.
keep an eye on them. Promise me you can. It's on the hand if you let him, so keep an eye on them.
I just want to point out the difference from the first chorus to the second chorus. In the first chorus, like, keep an eye on Dan, and all the instruments are like suspended, like, they kind of held just to have that dramatic on the vocals. And in this time, they didn't kind of stop the instruments, they kept going with the percussion, so the energy kept going, and I'm loving it.
I'll be back at 7 on Sunday to get
Do you want to do backy?
It takes me back to us. So you and I are there.
Synth mirroring the lead, perfect. Keep an eye on that. I can't hear what they're saying.
I am
Okay, I think I misheard those lyrics, but it sounds like it's a couple who have like separated and they're like kind of dropping up and picking up their child, and it's like talking about that experience. Can I just say I love that one musically? Everything of that is, I love the songs that are more like really dramatic, and that was just like so good. I really like that one. The next one is Bumblebee. For the life of me, I'm like, okay, this has to be a fun, silly, goofy one. Like it has to be. You can't have a serious song called Bumblebee, right? Got your beautiful woodwinds, the guitar. Maybe it's gonna be serious.
He likes the light in my garden. I love to watch him fly. Just the time before he born, and I wonder how to fly alone.
Staccato strings.
I dread to think what that would be. Would be a new kind of loneliness. But for now I'm in my God, feeling carefree as I listen to a bumblebee.
Oh, that's so cute.
This summer morning.
Oh. So here I was, I'm like, okay, you're gonna sing Bumblebees, it has to be something like funny, but it's like the sweetest thing ever of like someone working in their garden and just enjoying the simple life and being like, I'm just listening to my garden and the beautiful sound of bumblebees. Oh, that's kind of sweet. And they are loving the Glockenspiel. It's that high frequency, it's like boom, boom, boom. Not in that melody, clearly screw that up, but wow, it's so beautiful. And then they're really using a lot of strings throughout this album too, and that sounded quite classical, the arrangement of the strings, and very staccato, and it just sounded very like proper as well. And
We could be trapped.
the snares make it sound kind of more official. And those beautiful flutes.
To leave me rose, oh how I do. For the sight of his rod and mercy, the ratified.
I love how the strings kind of mirror the flight of a bumblebee, maybe.
Yes, I listen, feeling sad for those who never be.
Bumblebee. That guitar is really lovely, that acoustic.
Hear the heart of Bumblebee.
I'll strip down to the, so nice. So they've introduced that acoustic guitar, which is clever because it adds another rhythm, because at the moment the rhythm of the strings is quite the same. So having the acoustic guitar adds the movement, and then it strips it all down to the acoustic guitar. I thought it was just going to end there, and it's like, no, we're not ending there. We're going to go again and build up again. Doesn't this make you feel like on a relaxing summer day in your garden? Oh, that was cute. This one is called No Doubt About It. This sounds old school ABBA. Oh! That funky bass! Okay, I'm sorry, I I'm getting really like old school 80s vibes. Like the sound of the drums, like that kind of run in the beginning made me think, instantly feel Collins vibes. This choice of synth is like total 80s. So this sounds like very old school ABBA to me. Their vocals even sound a little bit like, I don't know, like they sound younger in this. I don't know how they did that, but there's a lot going on in this song. That sounds like a low piano matched with the synth as well. Like an arpeggio on the piano. I just want to point out how clever their songwriting is here, like choosing to really, because like this chorus is quite a lot of instruments, a lot of sounds are happening, and then they're stripping it down. They're really doing that intentionally, like it seems intentionally, like I don't know, but like to give your ear a rest and like, yeah. But doesn't this really sound like old school ABBA to anyone else? Of course, the classic backing vocals. Ooh, they stripped all the instruments away and they're just like, this isn't where it ends. I screwed up that lyric, but nice little surprise at the end. Okay, that definitely sounded more like old school ABBA to me. Again, I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but like some of the other ones, like Keep an Eye Down, like totally took me back of like the sound of it. This is the last one. Oh my. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how cool this is to listen to ABBA music, new ABBA music. This is the last song. Let's go. Ode to Freedom. Beautiful cello. And then pizzicato on the bass. Ooh, the harp is, oh, tension is happening. I love the song structure. Well, they've just written it and now we can all sing along to them. Oh, that's beautiful. And it ends. That was a really interesting choice to have at the end. Like those strings, like it almost sounded like, yeah, I don't know how to, I don't know, my thoughts. I'm so glad they're back and I feel like they really just did what they wanted to do and were like, just truthful to themselves, and I mean, made me quite emotional and it made me happy, and that's what I want from music. I think my favorite one, as of this moment, I think my favorite one was When You Danced With Me. I just think it created such an atmosphere and joy, and it felt nostalgic and melancholic, and like it was just beautiful. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're an ABBA fan. Please tell me which ones you enjoyed, what ones caught you by surprise, what you thought. Thank you so much for this. I hope it was enjoyable. You can check out my other videos on ABBA if you like. And yeah.